Welcome back to the Aston Martin Formula 1 team's new construction project here at Silverstone for its new headquarters. This is the third one of these videos we've made showing you the progress we're making on site. For those of you who haven't seen one of these before, my name's Guy Austin and I'm the project manager for the development of the new headquarters, wind tunnel and associated construction. Today we were hoping to go through the front door. We're one of the first people to do that, but as you can see behind me, the guys are still installing it, so instead we're going to have to go through one of the side doors to start our tour. Here we are now then inside the factory itself. As you can see, reception is behind me, front door, which we saw from the outside. So I've stepped into the street. If you remember from the last videos, this runs right the way along the factory from one end to the other, 160 meters long in case you'd forgotten. This end of the building, which is the eastern end of the building, is actually all about composites. So the layup room over here, which is a clean room, composite trim, composite assembly and bonding is over on our left-hand side. And behind us at the end of the corridor is where we're going to have 4 autoclaves, 2 large ones and 2 small ones. On the right-hand side then here is electronics, and there's a staircase there that links up to the technical office so the engineers can get up and down to their workshop. And on the left-hand side is another really important part of composites actually, and that's the pattern shop. So this is where there'll be a large 5-axis machine which actually machines the patterns. From that it's produced the molds, and then from that we lay up the carbon fibre into those molds to make the components. So if we keep going, over here then, a lot of sticks here. What are these sticks about? So these are what we call studs, and they form the internal partitions that separate the spaces, and this is the carcassing for those partitions. So where we are now is we're getting close to the race shop, what will be the race shop. And to support the race shop, we have to have separate rooms for crack testing, for inspection, for sub-assemblies, brakes and clutches, etc. And that's what's behind us here. And they serve the race shop, so that's why they have to be close to the race shop. The guys don't get very much time to take the cars apart and rebuild them between races. So making sure everything's in the right place is really important to make this building, which is, after all, is just a machine really, work as efficiently as it possibly can for the guys who are working here. Here we are down in the race bays. Working with our strategic partner Aramco, we're developing a forward-thinking, future-focused campus which has innovation at its heart. I guess there's no more greater expression than being here where the race cars are going to be prepared and will go to our races from in the future. On my left-hand side is the stores. Again, really important that we keep that close to where the materials are needed. And then finally, along the street, on my left-hand side here is Research and Development Department. And this clearly is one of the more confidential departments in the factory, so I doubt we'll be coming here much more in the future. We've come upstairs into the technical office. You can see behind me, huge open plan space. We're going to have 350 desk spaces in here. It's where Andrew Green, Dan Fallows and their team of extremely talented engineers are going to be working to design the Aston Martin Formula 1 cars in the future. What I've got here in my hand is one of the metal floor tiles that we're standing on. So we have a raised access floor that gives us a void underneath it, about 300 millimeters or a foot deep, so that we can run all our electrical and data services under the floor. Makes it really easy to move them around in the future. We just have to lift up one of these tiles, put in new services. One of our crucial partners, Juniper Networks, has been helping us with the design of our Wi-Fi installation, not just for this building, but also for future buildings 2 and 3. We're working with our title partner Cognizant to shape our future with a digital transformation and building this facility for the future. Over the weekend of the British Grand Prix, we had the great pleasure of showing Cognizant around our new facility. I think they enjoyed it. The feedback we got was great actually. So what you're seeing here is the guys set up temporary workshops where they can put threads on the end of the pipes, female and male fittings. You can see the pipework starting to go in over here. It's great actually to see it going in this way. One of the things you can always tell about a mechanical installation in terms of its quality is you look at the way it's been installed and you see how neatly it's been installed, and that gives you a really good clue to the professionalism of the guys who are installing it. So now we're going to go into Lawrence's office and have a look there. I'm sure you're interested where the boss is going to sit. Having said, let's go and look in Lawrence's office. Of course, we get here and the guys are hard at work. So they've just put down the floor sealer on the concrete, which stops the concrete dusting in the future. Lawrence, of course, has got a great office here in the southeast corner of the building. Sustainability isn't just about driving a battery-powered car or using solar panels. There's much more to it than that. So what I'd like to do is introduce Lee, and he'll tell you a little bit more about smart waste and how we manage waste on the site.
Here at Aston Martin F1, we use smart waste as a tool to monitor waste production, power usage, water usage, and to monitor our carbon footprint. From a practical point of view, this starts right at the front gate. Every vehicle, every delivery, every worker that comes onto site logs in, and that gives us the mileage. We can then monitor trends and compare ourselves to other projects, see how we're doing. This all helps to monitor data, monitor trends, and reduce our carbon footprint. We do produce waste, and the waste is all segregated in different skips in this area. We have timber, we have plasterboard, we have metal, and we have general waste. This all then goes to our waste management company, who further break down the materials. The records show, and our records, we are excelling and meeting our targets with Aston Martin of over 95% of all waste is being diverted away from landfill.
So any construction project isn't just about the building. We have a huge amount of external works to complete, whether it's the access road, whether it's the gatehouse, or where we are at the moment, which is the staff car park. Ultimately, we'll have over 600 car parking space on this site. And that work is continuing. Around us is the block laying that's going on for the car parking spaces themselves, pouring concrete for the truck yard where our race trucks are going to park. And I think I've mentioned this before, but what's really important is the support we get from our commercial partners, one of whom is JCB, and you can see behind me a JCB machine. All of our machines on site are JCB. They've been partners of the team right since its inception. Let's go and have a look at the wind tunnel site. But before we do, I think it's worth mentioning that we were talking about sustainability earlier, and working with our partner Juniper, we planted 750 trees earlier this year. I think it was back in March, where Juniper provided the trees and our staff came over a weekend and planted the trees. It's a great thing to do in this area in particular. In the future, this is going to be a wildflower meadow with a trim trail around it, so guys can go out lunchtime and run and just enjoy the countryside, because after all, here we are in Northamptonshire with great views all around us. Okay, so we're over at the wind tunnel site. I don't really want to go in there. You can see it's very busy. You can see the piling rig in operation. It's just a great big drill, like a big Black & Decker. The drill bit itself is 450 millimeters diameter, and we drill those holes down into the ground, as I said earlier, about 18 meters deep. Concrete trucks are here because as soon as the holes are drilled, the drill bit comes out, the muck gets taken away, and we replace where the muck was in the hole with concrete and reinforcing steel. We've got some 550 of these piles being put into the ground to support the wind tunnel, and that's to take the loads of the wind tunnel and transfer it down to the ground. Interesting fact, between turns 1 and 3 on the wind tunnel loop itself, which is about 70 meters, we can only have a maximum ever of 6 millimeters deflection, which is a massive level of accuracy that we've got to achieve in the construction. So thanks for watching the latest video of our new factory build, episode 3. We're about 60% of the way through the construction. Panic beginning to set in, I've got to tell you. Lots to do, still lots to do. Still planning on moving in next March. So there'll be lots more videos coming up in the future, and I hope you'll join us and see those as they're released as we go forward.